Kia ora everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy, the colorist here behind Amy Ward Art, and I'm back today with completed pages. This is the community's favourite video of the month, where I show you everything that I coloured in the month of July 2026. Plus there's a couple from June, because I didn't actually colour a lot in June because of being unwell. So we have a fair chunk to go through today. So in the month of July plus June, I'll keep saying that, but honestly, I only completed, I think it was 1 or 2 pages. So I think it was 1 page, to be honest. So I'm just moving everything to July. So for everything that I completed in July, it was 59 pages. I also created 7 new whips. So there's quite a bit for me to show you today. Because my work in progress pages are mixed in with my completed pages, so it's not like I'm going to be able to show you the whips first. They're all mixed together. In those 59 pages, I did work in 8 new books, which is fantastic. I purchased 5 new books during that time, but I worked in 8 new books, so that's pretty reasonable. I'm working on more than I'm purchasing, which is what we want. My worked percentage did go up. I've now worked in my collection, which is a total of 462 books. I've now worked in 398 of them, which is 86.15%, and previously it was 84.5%, so that is going up, which means there's currently 61 unworked books in my collection for a total of 13.2%. So we're getting like really close to getting to 10% or less of my collection being unworked. In terms of stats, we went up over Twitch. We gained 11 new subscribers. YouTube, we gained 66 new subscribers. I'm getting really close to 5,000 subs, which is incredible. Like, I don't really care too much about the numbers, but there's something about hitting 5k, which is kind of cool. So this is just a friendly reminder that if you're not already, be sure to hit subscribe down below. I don't usually push it, but you know, I really like to hit 5k before the end of the year. I think it would be quite cool. It's a dream, but I don't know if it'll happen. Instagram, we are also very close to 1.5k. Twitch, we're very close to 1k. Like, everything's really close to hitting some big round numbers, so it's pretty cool. And my whip total is now 31. It's increasing. So yeah, we've got a couple of things to go through. My journal is very messy like usual, because again, my journal is for me to keep track of stuff. It's not to be pretty. So let's get into it. So one of the books that I worked in a lot this month was Small Victories by Joanna Basford. And that is because I decided to jump on the page hopping trend. This book normally lives in my hospital bag, and I don't normally pull it out, but I figured I'd give it a go. And then the other thing I decided to do with the page hopping was to also only use a set of pencils, which lives in my hospital bags. Now, these are the Staedtler Buntstifte pencils. They are very firm pencils. They are very hard. They're not very pigmented. They're fantastic for living in my hospital bag, because they like get shuffled around in the bag and these leads don't break. So in that sense, they're fantastic. But for example, this is the black. Like, that is light grey. So I think of it more like a pastel set, and that has made it a little easier for working in here, because this was previously done. The colour payoff is very, very pale, but it kind of still works. So I have quite a few shown here. I know I completed 17 pages in here, plus started a few more, so I'll kind of shuffle through it. I am using the set. I also have been using some glitter gel pens, or a metallic gold pen. That one I just did lots of metallics on. See, these one there I've just done a couple of flowers on. I haven't been using prompts or anything for it. I've just been jumping into whatever intrigues me, whatever inspires me is what I've been colouring. So yeah, I've got a few cupcakes started. But yeah, I had one big day in this where literally all I did all day was colour all day in this book. I really like this double page spread. Unfortunately, a couple of the metallic pens I used have transferred, so that's okay. I'll just use some paint pen around the background of that. This one's cool too. It's cool when it's a double and it's all finished off. So yeah, there's no palettes or anything planned. I just kind of go into it and do whatever. Same thing here with the metallic pens. They did transfer, so I'll just figure out that side later on. Did the tiny little one down there too. I think I did the tiny little one down here. So yeah, you can see quite a bit done in here for a book that I barely touched. Now has quite a bit worked in here, so I'll probably shove that back into my hospital bag, but then pull it out when the time is right and I want to do some more page hopping in it. And then as well as page hopping in Small Victories, I did some page hopping in the Stardew Valley colouring book and the Junimo colouring book. Now both of these are illustrated by Kari Fry. And I did something a little different for page hopping in these ones. So I love the Stardew Valley game, and what I did was there is a mod that you can add to the game called the Archipelago mod, which randomizes the whole game. So it can randomize, instead of going into your house, you're going into a shop. Instead of, if you were to, for example, fish and you try to pull up a fish, it will unlock friendship with somebody. If you are trying to go to the mines and progress down in the mines, instead of progressing down, it might unlock your fishing rod so that you can go fishing, so you can unlock the friendship. It randomizes the game. It makes you think of things in a different game. And so you have to find all these little checks, and those checks are what we used to generate prompts. So I've still got a few here. Like, I would do a full day of the gameplay and then pause the game and then come in and colour. And sometimes I would generate prompts and I didn't know where I could colour them in yet. So I've written them down, and then as I've found things in the books, I've been like, oh, I can use that prompt for that. So that's why that's just sitting there. But it was so fun. I had so much fun streaming this. It was a mixture of playing games and colouring, which was fantastic. It scratched an itch for playing a game that I had. And then in the Junimo colouring book, so I've just done the little pieces of hay here. And then I finished off this desert page. I did go in and add some glitter to the sun later, but I am still debating if I glitter the sand. If we like intensify that sand a little bit. It just feels a bit, I don't know, incomplete. Something about it feels, maybe it's because the sky's not very bright. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I can always go back and amend anyway, but yeah, we did that one. And then I did this one. So I got a bunch of like wheat and spring vegetables and stuff like that. So, and grapes was a prompt. And so I just coloured in a bunch of these, and then after the stream I ended up finishing off the page. So that's all the ones that I've done in the Junimo colouring book. And then in the Stardew Valley colouring book, we've got a little jazz flower. Just on its own. I got a jazz flower as a prompt. And then we've got the Junimos in their hut. So I just use alcohol markers, and I'm just colouring it in with alcohol markers, and then once the page is complete, that's when I go in and shade it with the pencils. So yeah, I got jack-o'-lantern as a prompt there. I think I got sheep or wool as a prompt there. Oh, I got loom, that was the prompt. The pet bowl and the turtle. And this is great because I was unlocking friendship points with different characters, so when the character came up, I could colour their portrait. Elliot unfortunately got a little bit of bleed through with his jacket, so I've got some clean up to do there, but that's okay. So we got Haley and Leah. Sebastian. We're stuck at the moment because I need to get Maru's hearts up in order to access their house. So I did finish off the fish tank. So this is, again, the alcohol markers, and then I use Pablo coloured pencils to shade. I've got some paint pens to do the bubbles, and then I went over the glass with Mod Podge Extreme Glitter, so it's glossy and slightly sparkly, and I used a Signo Gold gel pen for just doing the details on the fish tank. We got the mermaid. I don't think these much. Oh yeah, we did Krobus. And then a couple of pieces of the mine. And a couple of things of Mr. Key, the mystery boxes and the key gems. Or Qui, or QI, or Chi, depending how you pronounce it. I call him Mr. Key. And then it's just the portrait at the end. So yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed doing that. That video game page hopping combination. And yeah, I do kind of want to do some more in these books. So that was a Stardew Valley and Junimo colouring book, which are both by Concerned Ape and Takari Fry. Right, this one is a whip that I did some more work on. This is a Pictora Monster Party. I need to zoom you out a bit now. And so I started colouring in the monsters. I just grabbed water-based markers one day. I think I drew this for a Little Touch of Colour Count series, and did a little bit of work on there and just haven't made it back. And I haven't filmed anymore for that one. So yeah, I should sit down and film some more. But yeah, we drew this one and I already had the whip in here, so it's pretty easy to just carry on and do a bit of work in here. And again, just with water-based markers. I do really like the monsters in here. I need to get in here and finish off some more. So that's Aleski Biscoff's Monster Party. It's a Pictora colouring book. And then I have Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. This is a group with a bunch of people now. We've got Ellie at Colour Mama 360, Amanda at Colour Me Tartan, Ambient Landscapes, Amy at Colouring with Amy, Hannah by Hannah Renee, Cappy at Colour V94, Jess from Colouring Bumblebee, Deborah from Where I Wander I Find, Emma from Emma Colouring, Jennifer from Nif's Hobby Corner, Rosalind from Rosalind Barrett, and Steph from Steph Louise Argyle. So I'll make sure I tag them all down below. But yeah, quite a few of us in this group now. I was playing catch up on a few pages. I also got to choose one of the pages this month, so I did quite a couple pages in here. So we have the summer fun little capybaras here. I forgot what they were called there for a minute. Yeah, this one, it was just about making it as bright and colourful and just having a bit of fun with the colours. I keep the shading pretty simple in here. Right, no, that's one of the ones I still got to do. This was my pick, the ramen one, which of course I picked the ramen one. I love this one. I'm really happy with my colour choices here. I really like how the bowls turned out. I also used, as well as the alcohol markers and a gel pen for highlights, I also used Lango gel pens to add like seasoning or flavours to each of the noodles. So this one is our spicy noodles. It's got little red dots everywhere. This one's got like some chives and stuff in it. This one's got little bits of yellow, so maybe it's like cheese or just like a egg, or maybe just like a seasoning, like a chicken powder or something. And then this one I did sesame seeds. So yeah, of course, spicy noodles. And then we have the teacups, which was a catch-up one. This one, it was just like I didn't know what to do, so I just did rainbow. When in doubt, I do rainbow, as you can see by the pajamas. And I do like how it came together. I quite like my tartan cup. I think that looks quite cool. So yeah, this one just alcohol markers. I used some glitter gel pens and metallic gel pens, and yeah. And then strawberries and watermelons. Which again, pretty straightforward. This one was quite easy because it's quite a limited palette as well, which is quite nice. And obviously this one I played around with grey cappies. So yeah, I've got, that is this month's page. That is, I think, this month's page. Yeah, because this is a catch-up page, this one. So yeah, next month we've got 3 to do in there. But that is Capybara Cuties by Rob Parkinson. Mine Rice Dirch Europa. Never can say it right. Where's my bookmark? Did I forget to bookmark this one? That'll be right. That's very like me. Oh no, I did. The bookmark just fell in. So this one here was an old whip. I had a stream at the end of the month where I just wanted to go through and finish off a bunch of whips. So this was one of the pages that we finished. So this one is just Pablo coloured pencils, so a metallic gel pen, and some iridescent markers that I've got for the letters. It's pretty straightforward, but it was nice to knock out an old whip. And I do like how it comes together. I quite often use just Pablo coloured pencils in here, I've realised. Like a lot of the times I just come in here and colour with Pablo coloured pencils, which is interesting. Like I use some Inktense in the background, but that's just Pablos. Inktense and Pablos. Yeah, I just often use Pablos in here. Yeah, I've ended up doing a little bit in Europa, so yeah, mine Right Stretch Europa. Alright, this is one of my new books for the month. This is Cozy K-Pop. It is by an illustrator, Pamela Barbieri. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's super duper cute. Let me know if you want to see a flip through of this one. Because I think it's absolutely gorgeous, so I had to grab it because I was just like, yes, I need this in my collection. And so I've done this one here. And so I used alcohol markers to colour in the page and some pencils to shade. And I didn't use paint pen for highlights except for in her eyes, which is interesting. I normally do. But I also used a lot of yellow for highlight because I was trying to make it like the stage lights. And then in the background I've used super golden markers for all the confetti, and of course I made her dress glittery because why wouldn't her dress be glittery? So yeah, that is Cozy K-Pop by Pamela Barbieri. And then I have 2 Disney cozy books. So Cozy Moments was a new one that I brought this month as well. I did purchase a couple of books because I was feeling a little bummed. I was meant to be having dental surgery this month, but I got sick. I'm still a little sick, and it unfortunately postponed the dental surgery. So the oral surgery that I was meant to be having is a mixture of dental and oral. But yeah, I was a little bummed. So I brought some colouring books. And in the new colouring book, I coloured this Tangled page. And again, I didn't do white highlights on this one. I did yellow highlights. But I used alcohol markers to base, and then I used jelly rolls, a mixture of like moonlight and some neon ones, and the gold Signo for on the door frame. But yeah, I don't know, I just saw this one. I was like, I want to colour the Rapunzel page. And I almost dropped a pen on it right at the end. So I do need to go around and border, like black out this border because it's a little dirty. But yeah, I really like how it came together. It's very simple and cute. It made me very happy to colour in Cozy Moments. And then I also ended up doing one in Cozy Cuties. And my markers were dying as I was colouring in this page, so it's not the best alcohol marker work, but we make do. So I coloured Pocahontas, and it's pretty straightforward. It's just alcohol markers for all the background, plus I put some glitter on the water, so the water's all glittery. I used a little bit of pencils to shade in Pocahontas. Oh my goodness. And then for all the leaves, I decided to do them in rainbow colour order using my super golden markers, so they're all like rainbow colour as the leaves go around, which I just thought was fun and brought some colour into the page. But yeah, unfortunately my markers were dying a bit as I was colouring in the page, but I still like it. I think it looks really cool. That is Cozy Cuties and Cozy Moments, which are both cozy books by Disney. And then I also worked in 2 of the Huldra Folk. These were both unworked books as well. I just got really inspired one day to pull them out and work in them. So I did this polar bear one here where he's riding the polar bear and mapping it. I don't know, I just really was drawn to this page, and I really like how this one turned out. So again, alcohol markers, a little bit of pencil for shadings, Mod Podge string glitter for the sky, which I also added some stars to with Posca paint pen. And yeah, again, we've got like that little golden glow. I didn't do like my bright white highlights around them. I instead did a little bit of yellow glow. I just realized I didn't shade the mountains at all. Oh well. Oh well. Maybe they're in silhouette. Yeah, I do really like this page. And then in the Huldra Folk Spooky Tales, both of which, these are by Oda Agda. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering your name. I didn't even say your name. I did this willow tree page, which again, my markers were dying on as I was colouring, but I just tried to make the streaks look like wood texture. But I love this one too. I think this one turned out really cool as well. So again, alcohol markers, coloured pencils, a little bit of Posca paint pen to do like the stars and the outline of the little ghosties and the little highlights in the eyes. But most of the highlights were coming with yellow. I was apparently in a very yellow highlighty mood. But yeah, I really like this one as well. So those are my 2 pages in the Huldra Folk colouring books. Okay, keeping on with the cozy theme, I also have Perfect Moments by Mason Nook. This one was done, that's one from the charity stream. This one was done, oops, I never bookmarked it. And my final stream of the month, I started it on stream and then I did the shading off stream, finished it off stream. Again, it is alcohol markers, coloured pencils, and a little bit of Posca paint pen for highlighting. It's pretty simple. Again, I keep it pretty simple in these cozy books, but they're meant to just be a break and just a bit of easy colouring for me. And I love how this one turned out. I, of course, coloured the cat black, like if it was Shadow, because he loves to jump up on my laptop and believe it's his space to crawl all over. Also, carrot cake. 2 things on the page I absolutely love. So yeah, that is my page in Perfect Moments by Mason Nook. And then I have Witches by Yusuku. And I just did this starting page. This one I actually did with Crayola coloured pencils, as well as a bunch of glitter gel pens. I started this one day randomly because I was just like, oh, I'll just colour the pumpkin. And then I'll just colour the mushrooms. And then that was it. So I'd come back and sometimes I'd be like, okay, I'm just going to colour the stars and pull out a gel pen and a glitter gel pen and just coloured all the stars. And yeah, it was just one I kind of picked at and then it just kind of came together. It wasn't the plans. It was a bit of a random choice, but that's what happens when you're a mood colorist and you just go with the mood. And yeah, I don't mind because I've got another page done in Witches by Yusuku. Alright. So I have Matchstick Mouse. And I have 50 Zodiac themed miniatures. These were done on the same day as well as the Capybara Cuties. I had a mega chaos colouring stream where basically I was working with alcohol markers. I would colour a page, put it to the side to dry, grab the next one. And I was rotating between Capybara Cuties, Matchstick Mouse, and 50 Zodiac themed miniatures, which is why these also have 4 pages apiece worked in it, because it was work in Cappies, put it to the side to dry, work in 50 Zodiac, put it to the side to dry, and then work in Matchstick Mouse, put it to the side to dry, and by then the Capybara Cuties was dry and I could work again in it. So, yeah, and we got quite a bit done in that stream. So, for the 50 Zodiac themed miniatures, I have the Chibi Gemini. This is a course for Jess from Colouring Bumblebees, hashtag for completing 50 Zodiac themed miniatures. So, actually up to date. In fact, I'm a little bit ahead, which is quite cool. Chibi Cancer, of course, done, and these are all coloured exactly the same. Alcohol markers, a little bit of Pablo coloured pencils for shading, Posca pen for highlighting, super golden markers for the borders and the name, and then Mod Podge Extreme glitter. So those are the 2 pages for that. And so it's Chibi Leo for this month. I'm going to shove that back in there so you know. We're getting really close. And then we have the tiger, which again, same way of colouring. And we have the rabbit, and I actually really like how the rabbit turned out. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but yeah, I do really like the rabbit. So of course that means this month is the dragon. So yeah, this book is getting really close to being done. It's still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's about 9 months plus these like title pages and stuff like that. I've already done a lot of the title pages, so yeah, I might look at trying to do that one too, just to make sure it matches that one. And then it's just chibis left to go. All right, that's 50 Zodiac themed miniatures by Camellia and Jacoba. Sorry, I'm still a little under the weather. And then we have Matchstick Mouse Spring by Morgan O'Brien. And so this was the third one that I was bouncing to. So we have Bun Buns. Again, these are shaded pretty straightforward. It was just alcohol markers, a little bit of pencil, probably Pablo. No, I think I was actually using Crayolas to shade in here. Actually, it might have been Crayolas that I had out for this. And then the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter plus Posca paint pen for highlights. Oh, I love the Bun Buns. They're so cute. This whole book is so cute. There's so many cute little pages in here. I had way too much fun. There were so many. I was like, I could colour that one. I could colour that one. So it was really nice to show some love to this book. Love the little lamb. This one I did give a pale purple hat for some reason. I've kind of kept Matchstick Mouse the same for all of it. Dark purple hat and then just brown and peach. I love her little dancing in the springtime. And we have the little chocobo. Yeah, it's such a cute little book. So I should keep it out and get some more done in here because it's just really gorgeous. So it's Matchstick Mouse Spring. And I have Adorable Girls by Raider Prince. And I have this one here. This is another one where my markers were dying when I did the hair. So there's actually 2 different colours in the hair. But I think I managed to blend it out so you can't tell so much. But yeah, again, alcohol markers, a little bit of pencils for shading. There's Mod Podge Extreme Glitter on the cheeks and the lips and the earrings. A little bit of Posca paint pen for some highlights, but pretty straightforward. And this one is just because I saw Rosalind was colouring in this book, and I was like, I want to colour in this book. because that's how I work sometimes. I get very influenced by what others are doing and like, I want to work in here too. And it's such a cute book. So yeah, just fun little portraits that are great to colour. So it's Adorable Girls by Rada Prince. And I have Gnomes at Home by Teresa Goodrich. And I have this one here, the Colouring in Gnome, which of course I had to start with the Colouring in Gnome. So I started this one at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I put my protection sheet on the wrong page. So that's going to be fun to clean up. But this one, I really like how this came together. Again, it's alcohol markers as a base, coloured pencils for shading, Posca pen for highlighting, a little bit of Mod Podge Extreme Glitter for the glitter. But yeah, it was really nice to colour in a Teresa Goodrich. It's been a while since I've coloured in one of her works, and yeah, they just bring me such joy. So need to do more of that. So that is Gnomes at Home by Teresa Goodrich. This is like a chunky one. So many gnomes. I might just bring you out just a touch, because we're starting to get into some bigger books here. Fairy Tale Worlds. So this one was another whip that I wanted to work on. And so it's on this double page spread, but it was only one half that I ended up finishing off, which was the Nutcracker half. I will come back and eventually finish off the Sugar Plum Fairy, but I'm really happy with how my Nutcracker side went. So I used a very limited colour palette for this one. It's all Faber-Castell Polychromos, and the background I had done previously. It is all pencils. And then I used a little bit of fine liner to colour in the tree branches here, and a super golden marker to do all the little stars. And then there is like a little bit of a pearlescent watercolour just for this bow, because I needed a colour for the bow to finish that off, and I didn't want to introduce a new colour. But yeah, so it uses 185 Naples Yellow, 129 Pink Meadow Lake, 124 Rose Carmine, 168 Earth Green Yellowish, 174 Chromium Green Opaque, 177 Walnut Brown, 152 Beige Red, and 255 Cold Grey 6 is all the colours that have been used on this page. And I'm really pleased with how that turned out. And I think this pearlescent watercolour I'm going to bring over and use on her wings on this side, so she'll have a little bit of pearlescent as well. And then I just have to colour all the sweets and candy and finish her off as well. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how that came together, and I think it'll look really good once the double is finished, when I eventually get back to Fairy Tale Worlds by Maria Troyel. And then exciting times. We're going to have to zoom out once more. I have done my first ever Apple page. For ages, I wasn't even sure if I would be able to colour in the Apple colouring books, because they're just so gorgeous. And I was just like, I don't know if I can. But I did. And I did this little page here. This is called Every Day is Christmas Day. So it's kind of like a midwinter Christmas. I used Inktense pencils and a little bit of Polychromos pencils to shade. The background, I did pull out a bright pink, but unfortunately there was a little bit of grey left on my brush and I didn't realise. So the background's a little colder than the original reference image, which does make the page feel a bit colder, which is a bit of a shame, but that's okay. It was for my first like play at doing one of these pages. I think it came together pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with it overall. It's not going to be exact. The only thing I didn't do was I didn't put all this little fake snow on the tree. I'm not quite sure how she did that. So I just left that, but it's okay. I like it. And it was fun to do a midwinter Christmas page as well, because it's winter here in Aotearoa. So it's the only time that colouring like wintry Christmas pages feels like colouring wintry Christmas pages. So yeah, that is my Apple page from Forest Girl. I believe this is number 3. Fabulous book. I love the paper in here. It held up so well. Oh, I love it. Love this book. I've flipped it so many times, so it's such an honour to finally have worked in it. Right, Wildflower Folk. Now, I originally called this one Done. However, when I was putting a bookmark into this one to make it ready for filming, I realised I don't think it's actually done. So I look at like this bun of Aisling that I've done here, and I love how it looks, and it's definitely complete. And then I turned to this page with Baby Dragon, and I was like, it's not done, because I realised I've done shading and I've added in shadows, but I've added in no highlights, and that's why she's feeling a bit flat. She needs more warmth brought back into her. So I've called her done. However, I'm going to go in and amend her. I also realised I was going to do the centre of this flower as gold, like I've done in the gems around the border, and I forgot to do that as well. So there's a couple of little things I want to pick away at this page. I thought it was done, but no, I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna add a bit more to the hair and just bring some more life to this page. So yeah, this is Baby Dragon by Christine Karen and Wildflower Folk. I should get better at remembering to say what the books are before I start turning into them. But yeah, we started this one on stream as well. I coloured the little dragon as if it was a little Charmander, which is super cute. And yeah, I do really like how the page is looking, and it's so close to being done. I just need to come in here and add some highlights into this hair, and in particular, and it will then feel a lot more complete. It's been bugging me why it didn't feel complete, and that's why it needs highlights in the hair. So I'll probably do that after I film this video. Alright. Romantic Country 2, the second tale. Right, so this one and one other book coming up were two of the things that I worked on during the month of June. During the month of June, I got really, really sick. However, I had joined Jess from Colouring Bumblebees full book collab for Romantic Country 2, as well as Jazzy Doodle Designs full book collab for Fragile Worlds, which you'll see coming up. However, I finished both the collabs to a point that I was okay to call it done and submit. However, they weren't done to what I saw. And so I've counted them as incomplete, and I'm still working away on them. And so if you saw the video, if you saw this page in the Romantic Country Free collab, you may look at what I'm showing you now and go, hang on, that looks a little different. And that is because I have done more work on it since I submitted it for the collab. Again, I was happy to call it done at that point because it was done, but it wasn't done to what I originally saw. I was so sick, I just wanted to make sure I completed my obligation, and so I did. So what I used was Inktense to do the background sky, and then Prismacolor to colour the whole page. You can see with their dresses, they're very plain. I did shove some shimmer pens on here, but this just isn't it for me. And then since submitting it, I have gone over all the details in the background with a Signo Gold gel pen. And that's already brought so much more warmth to this page and the richness that I wanted. So that was a big thing that I've done. I've still got to go in. I want to outline these crystals in white. To bring the crystals forward, I need to add in the stars in the background here so it looks more like a night sky and not just a patchy Inktense mess. And then because I had originally planned on using photocopies to collage in these dresses, I still have the photocopies and I'm still planning on collaging in the dresses because like they're okay. They're just, again, there's nothing wrong with calling it done where it was. It just wasn't done to my original vision. It was done to a point because I was sick that I could submit it. But because I've got those photocopies, I do plan on going in and collaging the dresses. I also just got a paper making kit so I can make my own papers, and I thought maybe I might try making some papers to match these colours that I can then collage in for some of these. But even if I don't get back to collaging in the dresses, I'm at least happy that this background is looking so much more what I envisioned. Going over all those lines with the gold is really just upped the level of this so much more. So I really wish I could have done it for the collab, but again, in June I was so sick, and that's why there were 5 5 completed pages, but that's with the asterisk that this 2 and the 2 in Fragile World were completed to what I wanted them to be. So there was only 1 completed page, and that's why I'm not really counting June. So yeah, Romantic Country, the second tale by Erie. So that one's a bit of a whip. And then another whip I have is a Nalco Neko. This is for a group that I actually host. And the page that the group chose for the next 2 months is this page here. I love how it is progressing. I still need to finish off, obviously, basing the rest of this page, and then I need to do all the pencil shading. But so far it is Inktense and a little bit of washi tape for the dress. And I just have to be careful because I did kind of cut through a bit here, so I might have to grab a photocopy of this and stick it over just to kind of seal that up, but that's okay. But yeah, it is Inktense so far. I will come in with some polychromos for shading. I have a set color palette, although that's not it. I need to find where the page has fallen out to. I think that's it right there, actually. Yeah, that's it there. So I have a set color palette that I use for my kitties, and yeah, I follow through with it each time, so we'll carry on with that next month. Again, I do my pages for 2 months in this group because I know I just find it easier with this book to run it over 2 months. So it's Nalco Neko's Story of Precious Cats. Another whip that I have at the moment is in Dragons of the Realms. This is an official D&D colouring book, and it is this page here. And I am slowly making my way through on this page. It's a bit hard to show you without pencil shine, but what I have completed, I am freaking loving. I'm doing dramatic lighting again, and as you can see, her clothes and the dragons and the shadows, like, I love how that's progressing. So I've still got to finish off the center of her dress, and then I've got all the bits on the table left to go. So yeah, love how it's progressing. I just need to sit down and do some more. It does take a while because of the extreme lighting. It always is a bit of a challenge, but I do love when it comes together. So yeah, I'm really, really loving how it's progressing. I just need to do some more work on it, and you can see all the Prismacolor shine. So it's been based with water-based markers, and then Prismacolor for all the pencil shading. Tiny bit of paint pen highlights to help with some of the glow effects, but yeah, it's all just Prismacolor with a quick water-based marker base. It was looking real ugly on that base, but I knew that base was a base. So that is Dragons of the Realms, D&D colouring book. Alright, now we get into Millie Mariotta. I am still on my Millie Mariotta absolute fascination. Obsession, I don't know. But I did purchase a new Millie Mariotta, so I purchased Curious Creatures, because, again, it was emotional shock. But I don't mind because I'm loving her work so far. So I haven't completed anything in here. I've just done 2 sets of bases. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see this one, but there is a platypus that is in there. I have based with this with watercolor and a whole bunch of shimmer watercolor. Now shimmer watercolor is actually really hard to work over with the Langlo gel pen, so I might have to do something else for shading in this platypus. But yeah, that one has been based, and then the other one that's been based is this bird here. I really like this one. I'm going to come in with Langlo gel pens to shade this one, but you know, I've got a couple of backgrounds done, which is the main thing, and then I can just come in and shade with the gel pens when I'm ready. So that's my 2 whips and Curious Creatures. And then I have Secrets of the Sea. And I have 2 in here to show you. So the first one I have to show you is Seahorse page. So this was another bubble background experiment page. This is something that I've been trying to figure out how to shade, how to create these bubble backgrounds, and I was trying a new technique with this one, and unfortunately it didn't work all that well and spread quite far throughout the book. So I've got a lot of spread because of it, but that's okay. Sorry, I've got a cat that's crawling all around behind me. And then after using the watercolors to try and create the background, hello cat, I use Lango gel pens to shade in all the seahorse and a bunch of glitter on top. Yes. He's probably looking for warmth because it's cold. Put him on my shoulder and see if he'll stay there. And then, as well as that one's the other page that I have in here is this one here. So this one, the bubble background worked a lot better on. This is my one page I completed from June. It is Lango gel pens with a metallic gold gel pen on top of acrylic ink, which worked way better for the bubble background. Don't bump the microphone, Shadow. You're a little troublemaker, you know that? You know that? You're a little troublemaker. But yeah, I love how this one turned out. But unfortunately, using the acrylic ink means it also spreads everywhere, so that's okay. There's a lot of spread in this book. You might be able to tell by how twisted the spine is, just how much this book has been warped by all my experiments. But I may as well keep on experimenting because the book's already warped all over the place. So that was Secrets of the Sea, and then we have Precious Planet. And I might have to try and sort this cat out because we've got a lot to go through in Precious Planet, and he's going to be entirely in the way. Come here. Yeah, he got them out of me. It's just always in the way. Just wait till he's finished and then I'll get him off the desk. Okay, Precious Planet. So, this one was definitely my focus book of the month, and the one that sorry, that's just cat crawling and weird stuff. But yeah, this is the one I definitely ended up doing a lot of work in. I had this book on me when I actually got hospitalized and had my hernia surgery. So this book ended up getting a bit of work done in it. So first off, we have the Cebu flower picker. This one is just Lango gel pens and acrylic paint pen for the background. I love how this one comes together. Lango gel pens just work really well in these books. And then we have this woolly mammoth page. So for this one, I used Crayola colored pencils, but they have, I think they're called, they're not twistables. Twisted, maybe? They've got 4 colors in one. And so literally this is one colored pencil that I just grabbed and went no over the whole woolly mammoth. And then I grabbed the Lango gel pen in black and went around the outline of everything. And then I used acrylic paint for the main background and blacked that out. And I found this washi tape that kind of tied in. And so I just put that around the edge. And yeah, I really like how this one came together. It was really fun just sitting there and going no, and just letting the colours be whatever the colours were going to be with the pencil. So yeah, just a fun little experiment. And then I have the iguana or chameleons, one or the other page. But this is one of the ones where she often does this, where she'll have the same image flipped and one side is more simple and one side is more detailed in its line work. I wish they were just both detailed. I wish she wouldn't do that. I just want the detailed one on both sides, please. Or the simple one on both sides if you prefer to do one or the other. But yeah. So I did my best to make them match. This is paint pens plus Lango gel pens, and then I also used a little bit of a chunky glitter on top of them as well. This was one of my original bubble background experiments with the acrylic ink. And then this one, because the inks bled through a lot, I also have this panda that I did. So I used the original bleed through of the background plus a little bit of Gansai Tambi granulating watercolors in the background. to do that. And then Lango gel pens to colour in the panda, plus a little bit of a glitter gel pen for the leaves. And then I have these Paradise Parrots. So this is a watercolour background with Lango gel pens for colouring in all the details. And then the final one that I have in here is a whip that I'm still working on, and it is a bluefin tuna fish. So I've based all the fish. I'm just going in with the details. They're based with acrylic paint pens, and so it's just Lango gel pens to do all the details. I use super golden markers to do this wave pattern in the background, so it's got like a nice iridescence to it. The background was another bubble experiment that went wrong, but that's okay. Yeah, I do like how this is coming together. I'm using a lot of different colors, but it's looking really cool. It's just another good one to come in and just pick away at in between. So that's the whip and all the pages that I did in Precious Planet this month. And then the final illustrator that we have is Kirby. So, come here, Mythomorphia. I have 3 books of Kirby's to show you. So we'll start with Fragile World because we talked about the collab before. So this was the one that was for Jazzy Doodle's design. And once again, this may look a little different than what you saw in the video. Not a huge amount, but there is a little bit of a change. So again, I submitted it to a point that I was happy to call it done. Since then, I have come in and added in a little bit more shading and some glitter on top here. Plus, I outlined a bunch of the water to make it look lighter and outline the clouds. So this was done with Inktense, and then yeah, it was just Inktense. I think I had done, I don't even know if I did any polychromos shading. I think I had literally just done Inktense and then submitted it with just the Inktense. Now it also has some polychromos shading, and then a mixture of paint pens to outline all the clouds and the water, and then there's a little bit of glitter dappled on top of the water as well. But yeah, the main thing was deepening the shadows, adding in more yellow reflex, and yeah, it was just a little bit more that it needed, but I'm very glad that I did go in and fix that one up, and now it's all done. I wish I'd been able to submit it complete for the collab, but I was proud that I managed to get it to the point that I was happy with to submit it, because of how unwell I was during the month of June. So that's Fragile World by Kirby Rosans. Then I have Mythic World, and in this one I have my Rainbow Snake page. So this is Horseshoe Falls, which is a waterfall. It's part of Niagara Falls. And when I saw this page and started it, which was in a special Little Touch of Colour Counts series with Winter 89, when I started this page, I knew I wanted to do the snake rainbow because I knew it would be a lot of blues and greens. So specifically wanted to come in and do rainbow snake so it would get a lot of colour on the page. So the snake itself is done with Inktense plus Albert Duras for in here, so it would be a little bit more paler under the water. And then when I did the blue on top in the Inktense, it kind of merged with the colours a little bit. And then all the water and details are done with Inktense plus a little bit of polychromos pencils for some shading. And then there's a whole bunch of paint pen for like the water highlights and going over these clouds to make them look quite fluffy. But yeah, I really do like how this one came together. I don't have a favourite of the month, but this is definitely in the top. And I think it's just, I like rainbow. I'm drawn to anything with rainbow. So that is Mythic World by Kirby Rosans. And then I have Mythomorphia. So my Mythomorphia very much falling apart, very much getting near to the end. And I realized that if I could do at least 1 page a month, this book would be finished by the end of the year. However, I managed to do 2 pages, which is awesome. If I can do 2 pages a month, then this book will be complete by the time the new one comes out. So the first one I have to show you is the Ogre. Oh, we've just lost a bookmark. So this is the one that I started off with in the month, because I had the idea to do this page with basically the longest Prismacolor pencils that I have, the colors that I don't use at all, which surprisingly was cohesive. I do like how it came together though, working with my longest pencils. So there's watercolor in the background plus some iridescent shimmer. And then the Ogre has been coloured in with Prismacolor pencils. There's a little bit of Posca paint pen for highlighting all the sort of shiny metal armor. And yeah, I'm really, like, it's not my favourite colour scheme, but it works well for the page. All these sort of browns and neutrals and greys and colours that I don't really use a lot of work really well for this page. So that was the first page that I did. And then the second page, oops, okay, I've lost all my bookmarks. These bookmarks just mark which pages are remaining. The second page I did was the Arachne page. And so this one I used watercolors in the background, and then I used Prismacolors again for shading and coloring in. There's some iridescent watercolor in the background as well. And then I used Lango gel pens to color in, to outline all the different bugs. In my head, it was like there's a D&D spell that's called Infestation. So in my head, this Drider is casting Infestation as a spell, and that's why these are sort of like spectral bugs in a web. So yeah, that was my little story behind it. And yeah, I like how this one turned out. For a page that I was just like meh about, I like how it turned out and came together. And so because of those 2 pages being done, I now have 4 spreads, which is 6 individual pages, because 2 of them are double page spreads. But I basically have 4 spreads left to go. So I have This Book Belongs To page. This will be the last page that I work on. And then this book is so full. It's like, I'm going to have to sort it out later with the bookmarks. We have the, I don't know what this one is. I think it's a troll in the cliffs. And then we have the I keep wanting to say Anubis, but Anubis is the other one that I've got. But the Egyptian page. And then, as I said, Anubis is the final page. And I do have a plan for Anubis. So I think next month I'm going to try and do Anubis. And then maybe I'll do the other Egyptian page while I'm at it. But as I said, it is so close. 4 pages left and this book is done. Which, oh my gosh. And yeah, that is everything that I've worked on in the month of June / in the month of July / that little bit of June. For August, yeah, I don't have a lot of dedicated plans. I have things that I'd like to do, but I am trying to avoid plans and pressure on myself, and being aware that I'm sick, I'm run down, I'm waiting on a surgery, which now has been delayed till September 10th. So yeah, I'm in a lot of pain because of the delay for my surgery. Yeah, we're going to do the best that we can in this month, but it'll be what it'll be, and that's okay, because colouring is, for me, it's not a competition. It's not about how many we do. It's about doing what makes us happy, and at the end of the day, as long as I like what I'm producing, that's all I care about. And I do. I had a really good month this month. I really like the pages I completed. It's, again, really hard to pick a favourite because I really like everything I completed. Even the more simpler pages, I'm really happy with all of them as well. So, yeah. I hope you had a fabulous month. I'd love to hear from you down below. If you do have a favourite, let me know, because it's always fun to hear what you guys' favourites are and to hear what you've been up to. Reminder again too, if you're not already, hit that sub button, hit that follow, all the usual stuff, the likes and stuff that tell YouTube this is a cool video. I really do appreciate it. I don't usually ask for it, but I'll ask for it this time. But for now, I'm going to go and make myself a giant cup of coffee and give my throat a rest. All the araha to you all. Take care, ka kite, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!